Well, this is very exciting. This is a segment that is being promoted and organized by Red Online, and it's called Ask a Grown Teacher. And I am almost a grown teacher. I am up to 160 pounds. First question, how much coffee do you drink in one day? And what happens if you don't get it? See, it's a great question because this mug right here was made by my son, and it looks like it really holds about 2 full cups of coffee. And I've refilled it various times throughout the morning, so it's difficult to say how much I'm really drinking. My guess is if I don't get it, I would be as grumpy as this cat. You can see that there. Okay. What's your favorite type of music? Great question. I'm a big fan of roots music. I like the Grateful Dead. I like the Avett Brothers. Next question. What is your biggest pet peeve? I guess my biggest pet peeve would be a lack of curiosity. I oftentimes will come into contact with some students who just don't appear to be curious about anything, and it's really difficult to teach students a great deal if they're not curious. Next question. Is it true that you have dressed up as a hot dog for Halloween? This is true. Every year I like to dress up as a different food. I've kind of worked my way through various condiments over the years, and also other various entrees. But this past Halloween I did indeed go as a hot dog and was spotted out trick-or-treating with my children. It's important that I added with my children. And let's see, before I was a hot dog, the last 2 years I was a banana for 2 years in a row. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for next Halloween, but I'm sure I'll pick a food. Let's see. Next one is, what is the weirdest job you've ever had? The weirdest job. I don't know if it was a weird job, but it was a fairly demeaning job. I worked at Dunkin' Donuts as what they called a porter, and a porter is a very romantic sounding title. It sounds like the guy that carries suitcases like on and off of planes or trains or something like this. But no, a porter, as it turns out, is just a guy that cleans public restrooms. And so I would clean pots and pans and clean restrooms and things like this. And I had a boss, to make sure that we would clean the toilets, he would throw pennies in there to see if we would somehow get in there and get those pennies out of the toilet hole in there and throw them away. And I never did that. Instead, what I did was I took the end of a broom handle and I just jammed it in there so I get those pennies all the way in the back where you couldn't see them. So weird and kind of disgusting. Next question, why do water bottles bother you so much? It's not so much the water bottle itself or the shape of it, it's that continual crinkling and cracking of the bottle that students are inclined to do that just drives me nuts, or the throwing across the room to see if they can kind of get them into the recycling bins. Next question, tell us about your band and what role did you have in the band? Great question. So I was in a band called 8 Ball, and this band, we formed it in about 1986. We were popular is the wrong word. We were a band for a year or two. I was the lead singer. I wore tiger stripe pants, sort of like this greenish looking sort of like t-shirt with this sort of like fake looking leather jacket. So it was very, 1980s, very artificial. We were mostly a cover band. We played like Whitesnake and Dokken and Rush and Bon Jovi, that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. We didn't have too many original songs, although I do remember one called Hearts on Fire. And I remember the lyrics, hearts on fire, you're the reason I live and I die every time we touch. Very generic sounding now that I say it out loud like that. It sounded much better at the time. Anyway, so we were in Battle of the Bands, and for those of you that don't know what that is, that's a competition for bands to see who's the best, and they were very popular back in the 1980s. And at Newton High School, our band came in second place. I should also indicate there were only 3 bands that had, decided to be part of the competition. So we were either the second best or the next to the last worst or something. Right. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I guess I'd probably do it again, particularly in an age without YouTube. Let's see, what's your favorite memory or story from your band? We played this little place called the Dry Run in Newton, New Jersey, which was right across from this kind of classic theater. And it was a small little place, but We had a lot of fun, and like a lot of our friends showed up, so it was really kind of neat. But I don't know, it was just nothing in particular about that moment. It was just kind of fun to be there. Let's see, do you plan on having a band reunion? If so, when, and if not, why? Well, what I can say about this is my very enterprising AP class from last year had an idea. And their idea was to contact my old buddy Doug Otter from Las Vegas, and they got in contact with him. He gave them pictures from when I was in the band. And then this same enterprising AP class decided that they were going to create handbills, like indicating that our band was going to get back together and we were going to be playing in Franklin, and they posted them all over campus. So those handbills still exist somewhere. So it appeared, at least, as if we would be reuniting, but the fact is that we all live in different areas, and we probably don't plan on doing that, nor do I think there's a big market for it anymore. Where were you born? I was born in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. How many different places have you lived? Oh, let's see, Saddlebrook, Hackensack, Newton, Frieden, Hackettstown, all the great, formidable towns of northern New Jersey. And how did you end up settling in Franklin? Well, this is a great story. I was going to a private college called Uppsala College in northern New Jersey. Now, that might sound prestigious, small private college, but it really wasn't. It was very small and was very affordable. Unfortunately, that college closed in 1994, and my parents had relocated to Franklin in 1993. So I had visited Franklin and happened to come across Western Carolina University, and so I graduated from Western Carolina. Funny story about this. Not too long after I started teaching, I told my students the story about going to Uppsala College in New Jersey. It's since closed. Well, a bunch of them came back to me like a few weeks later and said, "Oh, Mr. Faetz, we saw your college on TV." And I said, "Well, my college closed, in 1994, the first college I went to." And they said, no, we totally saw it on TV. And I said, "Well, where'd you see it?" And they said it was on Dirty Jobs. And as it turns out, like, the campus was abandoned, and the guy was like going through the drain pipes to drag out rats. That's my alma mater. Okay. Let's see. Last question. Last card here. How have you come to like Kermit the Frog? Give us your best Kermit impression. Well, Kermit the Frog, I think, is a pretty universally loved character. So I think how I came to like him as everybody else did. Who doesn't like Jim Henson? One day I was wearing a green shirt, and my student said, "Hey, can you do Kermit the Frog?" And so I said, Kermit the Frog here. It's not easy being green. It was that kind of thing. And so I sort of just fell into the impression. I love doing impressions. I do some presidents and some other things as well. Let's see. Another great person who does impressions is Kevin Spacey. So you should check out some of his YouTube impressions. He's having some other problems right now, but he does it very, very good as well. I certainly enjoyed being part of this first inaugural, what did I say it was supposed to be again? Something about when your teacher grows up, how your teacher grows up. I'm totally screwing up the title now, but I was glad to be a part of it, and thank you, Red Online, for allowing me to do this.
That's all, folks.